Okay. Hello. Welcome back from lunch. I hope everyone had a fulfilling and satisfying lunch and a little bit of a break. Before I proceed to the next session, which is the presentation of the summary of this workshop, I would like to ask Dr. Yama Mboj to introduce a special guest who arrived this afternoon, and probably allow him to say a few words before we present the summary of our deliberations over the last few days, and also present the next steps from this workshop, and proceed to the closing ceremony. Yama.
Nous avons le plaisir de recevoir Alain Traoré, le directeur de l'agriculture et du développement rural. Il va se présenter. Allez-y.
Mais tu m'as déjà présenté?
Non, dis autre chose.
En fait, Monsieur Alain, avant que vous commenciez votre présentation,
Tout
vous avez
nous en disant son plan qu'il préfère.
Exactement. Merci beaucoup, Yama.
Ça c'est compliqué, hein? Je m'appelle Alain Traoré. Je suis très content d'être là et je vous félicite pour le travail déjà abattu. Je félicite mes collègues. Il y a certains d'entre eux qui étaient avec nous à Lomé. Je me suis même demandé, on dirait qu'on a juste transposé une salle à une autre. Et ça fait plaisir de redécouvrir et de découvrir certains nouveaux visages. Okay? Je suis directeur de l'agriculture et du développement rural. Ce que j'aime beaucoup, c'est le taux. Je ne sais pas, on dit ça comment, le taux, la pâte.
Avec quelle sauce? Avec quelle sauce?
C'est le taux de mil ou de maïs avec la sauce gombo. Non, non, la sauce gombo. On fait la sauce gombo. J'adore ça. Et j'adore ça tellement que je peux manger ça tous les soirs, il n'y a aucun problème. Et j'adore ça tellement que quand je suis fâché, c'est ça que ma femme me donne à manger. Et je retrouve mon humeur. Et quand je ne veux rien manger, c'est ça qu'elle me donne à manger. Et je retrouve mon humeur. Donc je peux dire donc que c'est le plat que j'aime le plus. Merci, bonne continuation.
Merci, merci, merci Alain. Anna?
Ok, merci beaucoup, Alain. Sorry. Now, j'avais dit que je veux continuer en anglais, mais à chaque fois, je me find myself speaking French. I'd like to invite one of our partners from Action Aid, Ms. Constance, to present the report summary, after which Madam Fatimata from ECOWAS will present the next steps from this meeting. Please keep in mind that this is a compilation of our deliberations over the last 2 days. And I would also like to say thank you for everyone's contribution that has fed into this report. Constance, will you present from there? Yes.
Hello? Hello? Are we happy? We don't sound like we are. Are we happy? If you are, give yourselves a round of applause. Okay. On behalf of all of us, I've been asked to present our collective agreement for the past 2 days. And I think I would invite all of us to, at this point, read through with me, take note of maybe typo errors, corrections, or things you think we've omitted from this report, because this is our report. All right? No, let's start from the beginning. Okay, we already know the title. I'll start with the introduction. This is the ECOWAS Regional Joint Sector Review 2018 Inception Workshop Summary Report. Yeah. You can move it up. Just move it up. Yeah. Okay. The 2018 ECOWAS Regional Joint Sector Review, JSR, was held from the 26th to 27th March 2018 in Abidjan, Cote d'Ivoire, under the auspices of the ECOWAS Directorate of Agriculture and Rural Development of the Department of Agriculture, Environment and Water Resources. The participants of the workshop constituted members of the Advisory Committee of Agriculture and Food, ACAF, representatives of the Ministry of Agriculture, mainly the NAIP, that's the National Agri-Investment Plans, and the CADIP focal points of ECOWAS, the African Union Commission, AUC, the ECOWAS Commission and Parliament, regional and international technical institutes like the FAO, SEALS, CORAF, WCAD, Africa Rice, IFDC, IPRI, EcoAgris, Hub Rural. Also, we had donor partners, USAID, then social professional organizations, civil society like AFAO, ENDA, CACSID, APES, ActionAid, and NANS. And the private sector, we had Federation of the Chambers of Commerce, support institutions and programs like AGRA and resource persons here present. The workshop discussions and group work was based on the following documents. The ECOWAP CADIP M&E mechanism, findings of the 2015 Regional Joint Sector Review Assessment, draft terms of reference for the operationalization of the Regional Joint Sector Review Steering Committee, draft terms of reference for the implementation of the Regional Joint Sector Review. With the recent increase in interest in the use of JSRs in agriculture sector in Africa, ECOWAS has gradually been preparing for its first JSR, and the aim of this workshop was to reach a consensus on the roadmap for the implementation of the regional JSR. The objective was to recap the findings of the regional JSR assessment, establish subcommittees for the implementation of the regional JSR, and develop a roadmap for implementation of the JSR. What were we expecting? At the end of the meeting, the results expected were as follows. The regional JSR subcommittees are established with clear terms of reference, a confirmed roadmap for the implementation of the JSR. These results were achieved through the participative consultative processes with various stakeholders from the 15 member states and participating institutions. Presentations were made to provide participants with the context of the 2015 JSR assessment findings and set the stage for the 2018 Regional Joint Sector Review. Can you take it up, please? After meticulous and thorough deliberations, the following consensus points were reached for each of the different sessions. On the overview of the ECOWAP M&E mechanism, the participants accepted the information presented on the ECOWAP M&E mechanisms. For the roles and responsibilities of the ACAF in relation to ECOWAP M&E, the participants highlighted the following points of inquiry. First, the need to clarify the role of the private sector in developing budgets for the regional JSR. The methodology to improve data collection of the non-state actors level. Okay. The need for ECOWAS to support some member states that have faced challenges with nutrition data, as well as high number of indicators, and carrying out the accompanying data collection. Clarify the roles and responsibilities of the non-governmental organizations to support civil society in the M&E processes. Review the recommendation to establish a federation of civil society to get involved in M&E. recommend ways in which ECOWAS can support subnational capacity building initiatives in each country towards M&E activities. And then how NSA and the development partners are integrated in ECOAGRIS and the ECOWAP M&E system to allow data to be entered in one holistic system. The participants also agreed that the ACAF has representation from all the major agriculture stakeholder groups. There have also been successful biannual review efforts, and the JSR can build on this momentum for success. There is also a need for training in data collection at the regional level. We know M&E is expensive, and the other partners need to be involved and contribute towards this. Private sector, along with other donors and stakeholders, need to play a role in monitoring of the results. Country SACs and ECOAGRIS units provide support to non-state actors' data collection. For instance, an NGO paid for a workshop in Nigeria to build the capacity of NSAs for data collection. The ACAF is not responsible for reviewing 15 country reports. However, the members have the mandate to review the annual performance report. They need to activate the operationalization of the ACAF and identify ways in which the private sector can better contribute to the ACAF was also raised. At the end of our discussions, the participants reached a consensus on the challenges in data collection and management in the region, yet they also agreed that progress is being made in this area. On the overview of the 2015 Regional Joint Sector Review Assessment findings, participants inquired about the following: country comparative analysis on JSR performance. They also inquired on the ECOWAS support to member states in developing guidelines for reporting. After that, there was presentation and discussion on the TORs for the Joint Sector Review and each subcommittee. The participants questioned the following: the importance of including the questions to be addressed regularly in the JSR, the extent to which ECOWAS adopts the general JSR guidelines in implementing the regional JSR, the need to generate variables every year for the review, or whether there should be a fixed panel time series analysis. Lessons learned. Lessons learned with events to be organized. A learning event to be organized at the Cardiff Partnership Platform meeting and address what worked and what needs to be improved around the biannual review process to develop best practices for the Cardiff M&E implementation. Let me take that again. A learning event will be organized at the Cardiff Partnership Platform meeting to address what worked and what needs to be improved upon around the biannual review processes to develop best practices for the Cardiff M&E implementation. This will be a great opportunity for ECOWAS to attend and draw from the lessons presented. How can the JSR be used as a tool to validate data from the countries in the biannual review process? Then, the need to review ways to improve data collection on the ground. Moving forward, the participants agreed that there is need to be a way to establish a trend of variables being monitored. There is also a need to have a clear distinction between the joint sector review, both at the country and the regional levels, and then also the biannual review, which is at the continental level. Then also, we agreed on periods for organizing the regional JSR, that it should be standardized. For the TOR's review and discussion, participants were assigned groups to discuss and review the following draft TORs. First, the JSR TOR, terms of reference, JSR Steering Committee, Technical Review Committee, and the Resource Mobilization Committee. The contributions from each group were presented in plenary, and it's included in the annex of this document, which I would present after now. The participants highlighted some challenges around the following. Policy review should incorporate an analysis on industrial and trade in addition to agriculture. The composition of the steering committee, particularly the need to include UEMOA and ECOWAS Parliament, the possibility of integrating the ACAF in the Specialized Technical Committee of the African Union. Clarity around the deliverables of the entire joint sector review process, and then the JSR validation workshop. The composition of the subcommittee and the specific list of institutions to be identified and confirmed as technical resource bodies. Then we also had review of technical areas to be included, the strategy for resource mobilization on the regional level, as well as implementation, and finally, clarity on the sources of funding and the difference between financing the ECOWAP versus the JSR process. The technical organizing team addressed the comments and the contributions highlighted in the plenary. This was presented on the morning of the second day, and they are as follows. On the draft JSR roadmap, participants noted as follows. A standard regional JSR roadmap should be developed for the process to serve as a reference point for subsequent JSRs. The dates proposed in the roadmap should be flexible enough to accommodate external factors. The steering committee should expand on the presented tasks and include the responsible persons for each task, as well as the expected deliverables. On the establishment of the regional joint sector review committees, the result of the discussions in the group work fed into the final proposed JSR subcommittee composition that was presented in the plenary. The majority of the participants agreed to the composition with recommendations to include specific institutions and include the profile of each representative member. The general consensus of participants was to include as much detail in the presented documents, such as the roadmap and the subcommittee composition, to ensure stakeholders implicated in the process are aware of their expectations. The next item we had was the inauguration of the Regional Joint Sector Steering Committee and also the launching of the Regional Joint Sector Review 2018. The participants approved the progress of work on the draft terms of reference and also on the proposed subcommittee members, and the representative of the host country, that is Cote d'Ivoire, moved for the 2018 Regional Joint Sector Review to be officially launched. I hope we are taking notes in case there are corrections to be made. It has to be English. Okay. Let me read from here. All right. No, don't worry. At least everybody can hear me from here. Okay, so this is the revised ECOWAS regional subcommittees that we worked on. Sorry, sir. We all gave our feedback and we tried to amend that. On the list, we have 10 groups, 1 member representing the following institutions under the Regional Joint Sector Review Steering Committee. We have 10 groups and 1 member representing the following, and the groups are as follows. Chairman of the Authority of ECOWAS, Clerk of Agriculture Committee, ECOWAS Parliament, ECOWAS Member States, Yemua, Lead of ECOWAS Donor Group, Socio-professional organizations, civil society, private sector, ECOWAS Gender Group, and last but not the least, ECOWAS Youth Group. Okay? For the Regional Joint Sector Review Technical Committee, the following amendment had been made. M&E officers of the following organizations or groups. And we have the DARD ECOWAS Commission. Member states, 1 or 2 of these will participate as required. So from the list below, we could have one of them or 2 to participate from the member states. The NAIB focal point, NAIB M&E officer, Agriculture Statistics Directorate, and then the National Bureau of Statistics. For the non-state actors, 1 representative of each of the subgroup. The civil society, socio-professional organization, private sector. Then we have a representative from ECOWAS Gender Group. And then under the technical cooperation institutions, we have the African Rice, SEALS, CORAF, EcoAgris, FAO, Hub Rural, IFDC, IFPRI, IITA, MSU, PASANAO, RESAX, and RESIMAO. We also reached a consensus on the Joint Sector Review Resource Mobilization Committee, and we looked at both the regional and the national levels. For the regional level, we have the Commissioner / Director of Agric and Rural Development, ECOWAS, Commissioner / Director, Agric UMA, Lead of the ECOWAS Donor Group, Director / Federation of Chambers of Commerce of West Africa Industries, non-state actors, 1 rep of each subgroup, civil society, social professional organizations, and the private sector. At the national level, we also proposed member states. Within the member states, there's the Ministry of Agriculture, Planning, and also the Ministry of Finance. We also proposed Director / Chambers of Commerce and Industry, Director / Chamber of Agriculture, Agriculture Sector Working Group, non-state actors, and as usual, 1 representative of each of the subgroup, civil society, socio-professional organizations, and last but not the least, private sector. Yeah. Okay. Okay. We also were told to work out the different stakeholders and what is expected as contributions from them. And on the table we have, is this in French now? Okay, English. And on the table, we have the partners or the stakeholders and what we expect as contributions. Okay, this is French heading and English heading there, but I'm sure you understand it. So on the stakeholders column, we have ECOWAS Commission. And what do we expect from them? Funding, coordination, data collection and analysis. From the ECOWAS Parliament, we expect advocacy and document review based on their oversight role. For the member states, we expect data collection, analysis, and advocacy. And for the technical and financial partners, we expect funding, data collection, and analysis. For the agricultural professional organizations, we expect data collection, analysis, and advocacy. For the civil society organizations, we expect data collection, analysis, and advocacy. For the technical cooperation organization, we expect capacity strengthening, data collection, and analysis. And last but not the least, the private sector, we expect funding, data collection, and analysis. Asante sana.
All right. Thank you very much, Constance. We are just doing our assignment. We were asked to do several things today. So I will take this opportunity to present the roadmap. Are we together? I will take us through the roadmap. We are again asked to review the roadmap. Oh, no. This morning, the roadmap was presented, and we were asked to have 2 additional columns. So, in fact, we decided to give you an additional one, which was which wasn't requested for, so that we make it more clear. So this morning, we were asked to add deliverables and responsible institutions, but we have decided to give you in collaboration with, so that you know clearly who will take the lead in collaboration with who. I think most of the areas that we have amended, you will, if you reflect on the conversation this morning. So the first is resource mobilization, which is very key. So we agreed today during the discussion that ECOWAS takes the lead, but the Resource Mobilization Committee will support ECOWAS to develop a resource mobilization strategy, organize several forums, and then see how we can generate resources for the process. So actually, resource mobilization, developing the resource mobilization strategy, organizing a meeting with the private sector are all embedded as one activity, which goes from February to June. Then obviously we have already done, we will conclude the GSR Inception meeting now. And we all know that we had some topics that we would want to factor in the GSR for this year, but we need to identify them or properly screen them. So that responsibility will be left with the GSR steering committee, which is something we have added into the roadmap. So the GSR steering committee will do that work with the secretariat. Then we will constitute the technical review team, which in essence we have, in principle, we have done here, but we will have further discussions. And then the review will be undertaken from April to August. We carry out the GSR workshop in September, hopefully, draw up implementation plans for follow up the implementation of those recommendations, and then organize a regional learning session on the 2018 GSR, because that will help us to improve subsequent GSRs that we will carry out. So clearly you will see the responsible, the lead organization or lead group, and in collaboration with who, so that we are able to achieve the roadmap. Thank you very much.
Encore une fois, merci pour la qualité du travail. On voit que quand le travail est entre les mains des dames, c'est toujours précis. Donc, félicitations. Je pense qu'on a beaucoup d'informations. Merci pour l'effort de capitaliser ce qu'on a dit, pour le mettre en relevé de conclusion avec beaucoup de tableaux. Je pense qu'on n'est pas dans l'aptitude de pouvoir examiner dans le détail tout ça. Je pense qu'il faut prendre le rapport, y mettre les annexes et faire circuler, donner une semaine aux unes et aux autres. Au-delà d'une semaine, c'est fini. Pour envoyer vos observations et vos amendements, on finalise le rapport en anglais, on le traduit, etc. Et puis voilà. Donc, on peut faire confiance à la CEDEAO pour vraiment finaliser tout ce travail-là pour qu'on aille assez vite. Parce que c'est très difficile, sous cette format, de donner la parole. On va toucher, on n'a pas la mémoire sur l'alinéa d'avant, c'est difficile. Donc, si vous êtes d'accord sur ça, je pense que beaucoup de tableaux qui sont passés sont des tableaux que nous avons déjà adoptés et validés. Et je note au passage les efforts supplémentaires qu'ils ont faits pour ajouter d'autres colonnes, pour expliciter les rôles et les responsabilités. Je pense qu'on peut les féliciter, les applaudir et adopter notre rapport en attendant. Voilà. Merci beaucoup. Donc, je pense qu'on va passer à la clôture de nos travaux. Je pense que merci beaucoup. Vous êtes venus, on vous avait... ouais.
Oui, on peut adopter, mais il y a quand même quelques questions. Sur la page de le comité technique, j'ai noté que les partenaires techniques et financiers ont disparu. Est-ce qu'il y a une raison? Voilà. Parce que la discussion qu'on avait eue ce matin, j'avais posé la question, qu'est-ce que vous attendez des partenaires techniques et financiers? On m'avait expliqué, mais là, je vois qu'ils ont complètement disparu. Où? Non. Dans le tableau. Non, non, ici. Ils ne sont pas là.
You want an answer? I can explain. During the plenary, we had very hot discussions around what do we really want to get from the donors with regards to technical work. So we had discussions. The technical and financial partners are in the steering committee and they are in the resource mobilization committee. So if we really need you, we will let you know where we need you. But when it comes to technical work, since the issue was raised, we reconsidered.
Attends, pardon. Faut faire très attention. Bon, je vais ouvrir une liste. Il faut faire très attention. Un compte rendu, c'est pour restituer ce qui a été discuté. Il faut le restituer. Comme c'était dans ce qu'on a discuté, il faut le remettre. Une chose est ça, une autre chose est, après, on va expliciter le rôle qu'on leur demande de jouer. Ils sont membres du comité technique et on a pensé que dans le comité technique, ils ont aussi une compétence, une connaissance, une expérience pour pouvoir contribuer à ce comité technique. Mettez là-bas parce que c'est ça le consensus. D'accord, il faut le remettre. Donc maintenant, s'il y a beaucoup de voix, bon, je veux que vraiment quand vous intervenez sur des contenus comme il vient de faire. Quelque chose d'essentiel qu'on a oublié ou qui a changé pour qu'on ne retourne pas, s'il vous plaît, dans les détails des discussions. Sur cette première question, ce qui a été adopté, ce comité technique avec les partenaires sont membres, il faut restaurer ça. Est-ce qu'il y a d'autres, je vois là-bas que j'ouvre une liste, allez-y. Adama, j'ai vu Niger, ok. Voilà. Chambre de... Oui, j'ai déjà pris.
Et voici.
Ghana, chaud. Aller aux discussions. Yad. Bon, encore une fois, s'il vous plaît, pas de détails, contenu. On a oublié une idée, il y a ceci ou cela. Sinon, le reste, vous aurez le compte rendu. Vous allez faire votre changement, track change. À côté, vous allez expliciter votre idée. Voilà. Donc, vous allez avoir le document, vous changez et vous commentez à droite quelque chose. Vous avez cette possibilité quand vous allez recevoir le document. Voilà. Pour que ici, vraiment, vous nous donnez des choses qui manquent, qu'on a oubliées, etc., etc. Je ne veux, parce que si vous faites ça, d'autres vont rebondir et on va faire une discussion sans fin et on n'a pas le texte devant nous. Voilà. Je vous donne la parole.